Everybody has a moment in time where they dig deep and sacrifice. Everybody has a moment in time where they really could use good advice. Everybody has a moment in time when things changing overnight. Open up and let me in. Open up and let's begin.
Is it live?
Hey there, friends and family. This is Anthony here at Anthony Michael Klaas, or at Every Minute Has a Name, for this week's installment, which is called Happily Married Geo-bachelor. Now, how do you become a happily married geo-bachelor, you'd ask? Well, in the service, when you are married and have a family, but you have to go abroad or to training for whatever reason, they give you a geographical bachelor code, meaning that you're still entitled to certain benefits to take care of your family while away. And what I'm going to talk about today is kind of how we've done that, my wife and I. My wife and I have been married for 13 years. This is my little angel baby, Brianna, my Garmajoba, which is her nickname, Garmajoba Girl, because I found out she was going to be born while I was on a temporary duty in Tbilisi, Georgia. I'll talk about that later. And that's Chumbawamba, and that's another story. That's right. And so I could tell you is that my wife and I have been happily married for 13 years. We had our struggles. We've been separated, been together, separated geographically, not in any other sense. But we have been doing this grind for a significant amount of time now, and we've gone through it, and we've been successful. We have two beautiful babies, ages 3 and 1. Dominic, he's 3, just turned 3. Brianna just turned 1. And you know, part of our success, what I think, is the importance of communication and compromise. Now, there were times when we'd had some nuclear meltdowns, some significant epic battles between us, but both of us knew the importance of our marriage and knew that we were put on this earth for one another. And what I call it now is creative abrasion. That's my colorful way of putting our disagreements. And it's just that our differences, you know, they complement one another. And what we've learned is that it's better to deal with the problem up front, even if it's ugly, even if it's steaming, and you know, to resolve it whichever way we can, you know, short of any type of physical or other abuse that's out there. No, we don't do that. But we've gone through many different types of problem-solving techniques to get us to where we're at today. And now we're in a good spot to where we even have like a 10-year plan set up that on the first of the year, you know, we renew that plan, and we talk about things. We talk about life, her goals, my goals. One of the major agreements that we had that worked out for the best was we delayed having kids for a significant amount of time because she was in medical school and I was you know, working on my education as well. She's now a doctor, and our first child was born. Dominic was born 10 years after we were married, and that's because that's what worked out for us. So people are like, how did you do it? How did you do it? How did you get that far? And then specifically being in the military, dual military couple, it's more looking at selflessness than it is looking at what you can gain out of the relationship. Early on, you know, we learned that it was good for us to go to counseling after I returned from a deployment. Why? Because I had all that pent up stress and frustration, and I'd come home and I'd just immediately, you know, let go of it. And, you know, she had to call the old time out and say, hey, whoa, easy there. I'm not your soldier. We're not going to do this. No. So we sought counseling, and we made that like a TTP after each deployment. And it's worked out for us. So if you're interested or you think that that's an option for you, I mean, I can tell you from firsthand experience that my wife and I, we've done it. The military is great. They have resources for that, benefits for us for after deployment to give us free counseling sessions. If finances are an issue, you could always go and do it through the church, and they have very, very low cost, if any cost, if no, maybe no cost to you to go and get that kind of help for your relationship. But ultimately, it comes down to just going and having an arbitrator sometimes, so that you can both air your concerns and get a non-biased third-party opinion. And that's another point I would like to make. I learned early on in my relationship that I am a very, very good communicator. I am a very, very good, used car salesman, if you will. So I tend to not go and air any of my laundry to friends or family. The reason being is because it's very, very easy to get people on my side. I know that. So, if I win, the marriage loses, right? That's the thing. It's like you're a team. You're a team. You succeed together or you fail together. But there's no in between. There's no lobby. There's no vote or anything like that's gonna sway either person in a relationship, because like George Clooney said in "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" It's a fool who looks for logic in the chambers of the human heart. Right? It's irrational. It's drunk logic. It's relationships. You're combining two lives together. My son just got his head stuck in a basket, so he's trying to get some help right now. This is hilarious. So you're combining two individual lives together, and you're going to work them towards a common goal for the rest of your lives. It's a long time. That's a long commitment. That's that whole death do you part thing in marriage, and we've been good at being on the same page thus far, and our dialogue is what really helps that. So that's why the counseling worked for us, because it was a non-biased third-party opinion that was giving us tips, tricks to get things back on track after we deployed. Because when you're deployed, when you're away for a long period of time, you're out of the day-to-day operations. You're not there. You're not putting input into things that are happening day to day. And then even when I came back this last time with my kids, picking up where we left off, I was able to come back for the birth of my daughter, be here for a few days, and then had to go back out on the mission. I come back, and I'm having to establish that bond with my daughter. So there was no norm there when I returned. I had to build that. And part of the frustration when I got back this last time was, there really wasn't a battle handover. There was no left seat, right seat ride that you normally do in operations or anything like that, where someone comes in and you get them up to speed on how things operate and you move forward. My wife had to go to work. My mother-in-law, they were here. They were helping us out as long as they could. And then, they went back to their lives, and I was here trying to learn how to deal with, drop off, pick up from daycare, working into, both of our daily battle rhythms of who's going to do what. And there was a lot of creative abrasion going on there. So, luckily, we learned from the past how to come back from deployments and work with each other, and we were able to get back on the same sheet of music. And that's why I'm wearing this hat here, this Germany hat, because that was the first crucible that we had to go through when we were married. My first assignment was in Germany, and the first year of marriage is pretty significant, because you're definitely breaking down your ego, your pride, your hesitation to think about someone else first, and you're putting the money where your mouth is. You're putting it into practice. And then after we did that, I went to Germany to go on my assignment, then deploy. So we had to commit resources and time just to keep our relationship going strong. And that's what we did. Every day we had a routine touch point. Like I'll call you at this time. We'll talk for this long. My wife was working to get into medical school during that time in 05. And then we learned how much of a struggle it was when I was deployed. We make it a point to talk to each other. So whenever I'm gone, whenever I'm away, there's that hour of time in that day when I am going to break and talk to, my family via FaceTime or Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp or whatnot. And that's what we're going to do. It's going to happen. And, it works for us. It helps me. And another thing that we learned is that it's the great thing about having such strong emotions about leaving each other is it validates how much you care about each other. Okay, I tell folks all the time, I am grateful that every time I leave my family, I struggle with it. It tears me up inside. I'm not happy. I'm not home. When I'm away, I can't sleep. I'm working on how to function so much harder than when I'm back at home. And the reason I'm grateful for that is because that validates that I love my family more than I care about my own well-being, and that's important. And it's great that my wife and I have gone this far, and our kids, we both have the same, we're on the same sheet of music as far as where we want to take them. So down the road, if we depart again, we have a plan, and we're going to make it. I have no concerns about my relationship with my wife or my family while I'm away. That I can hang my hat on. The only really thing I do struggle with is that pain, that separation, that sadness. But like I said, that validates my feelings I have for my family, and it makes me stronger. It makes us stronger to go through this adversity that we do. Builds our character, and it definitely shows the strength of our team, our one team, our family team. So I hope this segment helps some of you out there. Next week, I'll be talking about the professional theme, and it's going to be focused on education. And I look forward to giving you 10 minutes of my time and have you take it with. So this is Anthony Michael Klaas, and Every Man Has a Name. Happily Married Geo-bachelor here, and I'll see you next week.
Open up, let me feel the space that you got. I wanna feel